Hello, my name is Pastor Kris Kollar. I am the pastor of Pleasant Valley Lutheran Church near Malabar Farm and St. Paul Lutheran Church in Lucas. Greetings. We are reading through the Bible with commentary. We are in Exodus. We have started into the rules and the laws and the stuff that isn't always obvious why it's interesting, but some of it really is interesting. Anyway, we're up to chapter 24, and we'll see how far we get. Then he said to Moses, that is God, said to Moses, "Come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship at a distance. Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but the others shall not come near, and the people shall not come up with him." So this was all of the Israelites have gathered at the foot of Mount Sinai to hear from the Lord, and basically don't want to go up in the Lord and don't want to see God directly. But now Moses is drawing near with the elders, and then Moses alone is going on up. Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the ordinances, and all the people answered with one voice and said, "All the words that the Lord has spoken we will do." And Moses wrote down all the words of the Lord. He rose early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain and set up 12 pillars corresponding to the 12 tribes of Israel. He sent young men of the people of Israel who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed oxen as offerings of well-being to the Lord. Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he dashed against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people. And they said, "All that the Lord has spoken we will do, and we will be obedient." Moses took the blood and dashed it on the people, and said, "See the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words." So it's very hard for us as modern people to understand this whole idea of sacrificing to the Lord. Some of the sacrifices would have been burnt up completely as a burnt offering and giving it to God. And some of it would have been, we've slaughtered the animal, we've put it on the altar, we've given a portion of it to the priests, and the rest of it we will eat, and we will have a barbecue, we will have a party, we will celebrate. And this particular passage is talking about this blood and the blood of the covenant, that there's a covenant between people and God is making this covenant. And half of the blood was on the altar and half of it was on the people. And we think, oh, that's yucky. But it represents being cleansed, being paid for, being redeemed. So instead of sacrificing a person, you sacrifice the animal instead. And the blood represents this deal, this agreement. A covenant is like a contract, it's like an agreement that it represents. And it's very weird for modern ears to think about blood being something that cleanses us. And as we get into the New Testament, we'll talk about being washed by the blood of the Lamb. There are hymns and songs that talk about, are you washed by the blood of the Lamb? We don't think of blood as not something that we get washed by, but the idea is that that blood covers us, and that payment has been paid and we don't have to pay it. So even here, blood is representing this covenant, this agreement between the people and God. Verse 9. Then Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel went up, and they saw the God of Israel. Under his feet there was something like pavement of sapphire stone, like the very heaven for clearness. And in Revelation they talk about the sea. So sapphires are blue, so it's like the heavens. Underneath God's feet are the heavens, the blue of the sky. God did not lay his hand on the chief men of the people of Israel. Also they beheld God, and they ate and drank. So Moses was not the only one that got to go see God. So did Aaron, Abihu, Nadab, and the 70 elders of Israel. And they were able to see God without dying. Verse 12, Then the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and wait there, and I will give you the tablets of stone with the law and the commandment which I have written for their instruction." So Moses set out with his assistant Joshua, and Moses went up into the mountain of God. To the elders he had said, "Wait here for us until we come to you again, for Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a dispute may go to them." So you guys can wait down here. Joshua and I are going up on the mountain. If you have any disputes, any problems, any issues, talk to Aaron, talk to Hur. Verse 15, Then Moses went up on the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the 7th day he called to Moses out of the cloud. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on top of the mountain in the sight of the people of Israel. Moses entered the cloud and went up on the mountain. Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Verse 25, or chapter 25. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites to take for me an offering. From all whose hearts prompt them to give, you shall receive the offering for me. This is the offering that you shall receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and crimson yarns, and fine linen, goat's hair, tanned ram skins, fine leather, acacia wood, oil for the lamps, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, onyx stones and gems to be set in the ephod and for the breastpiece. And have them make for me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, in accordance with all that I show you concerning the pattern of the tabernacle and all of its furniture, so you shall make it." So this is the beginning of setting up of this worship. Scholars call it the cult worship, and we tend to think of cult as, oh no, they're part of a cult. Cult also means the practice. So they're the practice of worshiping God as they've come out of Egypt and they've gone into the desert, and now they're saying, okay, you belong to God, and how do you worship God? You're going to worship him. Well, we don't have a temple because we're traveling through the desert, so they're going to create a tent, a tabernacle, a place that God can live as he travels with them. So the next few parts, we're really hearing about how they set up this tabernacle. And at this point, he's saying, tell the people to give offerings. And here's all the things that we're going to need. We haven't even got to the point of creating the tabernacle yet, but they're going to need gold, silver, bronze, yarn, linen, goat's hair, ram skins, leather, wood, oil, spices. So these people are traveling through the deserts, but they've taken everything they have with them. And so he's saying, as people have the desire to give, have them give these things to create this tent of dwelling, this tabernacle, this place where God can live and travel with the people. Verse 10, they shall make an ark of acacia wood. So an ark is something that holds something else. So Noah's ark held all of the animals. This ark is going to hold the 10 Commandments, the covenant, the law is the most important thing. I mean, they're not worshiping the law, but this is the thing that they have that is a concrete thing to carry, is the covenant between them and God. God himself is not going to live in a little tiny box, but the law is going to be put into the box. It shall be 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. How big is a cubit? Maybe 18 inches. So maybe this is like a 3 foot by 2 foot. It's not massive. It's not that super, super big, but it's not itty bitty either. It's a pretty good size box, but it is a box that he's saying to make a box. You shall overlay it with pure gold, inside and outside you shall overlay it, and you shall make a molding of gold upon it all around. It's a gold box. And you shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in its 4 feet, 2 rings on the one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side. You shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and you shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, by which to carry the ark. The poles shall remain in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. You shall put into the ark of the covenant that I shall give you. So you're going to create a box, maybe 3 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet, It's going to be completely covered with gold inside and out. It's going to have rings, 4 rings, 2 on each side, and through the rings are poles. The rings are completely solid gold. The poles are wood, but they're covered completely with gold, and the poles go into the rings and they stay there so that the ark can be carried by the priests, because they're still on the move and going to be on the move for a long time. And what are you going to put inside this box? The covenant, the stone tablets that are going to be made. Verse 17, then you shall make a mercy seat. And what is that? Possibly a treaty, possibly a cover. Like, it's lots of possible meanings. Probably like a cover for the box. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be its length, and 1.5 cubits its width. You shall make cherubim. So you have this box, and now you have a cover for the box, and the cover for the box is also solid gold. Where the box is made out of wood, covered with gold, this is a lid of solid gold, pure gold. You shall make 2 cherubim of gold, so angels. You shall make them of hammered work at the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherub at the one end, and the 1 cherub at the other. Of one piece with the mercy seat, you shall make the cherubim at its 2 ends. The cherubim shall spread out their wings above, overshadowing the mercy seat with their wings. They shall face to one another. The faces of the cherubim shall be turned toward the mercy seat. You shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the covenant that I shall give you. There I will meet with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim that are on the ark of the covenant. I will deliver to you all my commands for the Israelites. So we're creating a box to hold the stone tablets. And on top of the box is a lid. We're going to create the lid. The lid is going to be called the mercy seat. The lid is solid gold, and it has 2 angels that are facing each other, but actually they're facing down toward the lid with their wings outstretched to kind of cover. So the cover is covered by these wings of these angels that are of one piece with this cover. And that this is where God is going to come and meet with people and give his rules and commandments and things, is above the mercy seat, but under the wings of the angels is where God is going to meet people. And what's going to be inside of it? The stone tablets, the covenant, the law. I will deliver to you all my commands for the Israelites. Verse 23. You shall make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. You shall overlay it with pure gold, and make a molding of gold around it. You shall make around it a rim of handbreadth wide, about this wide, and a molding of gold around the rim. You shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and fasten the rings to the 4 corners at its 4 legs. The rings that hold the poles used for carrying the table shall be close to the rim. You shall make the poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold, and the table shall be carried with these. You shall make its plates and dishes for incense, its flagons and bowls with which to pour drink offerings. You shall make them of pure gold, and you shall set the bread of the presence on the table before me always. So now, first the box, now we're creating a table. Table's made out of wood, completely covered with gold, has 4 rings again with 2 poles that go also all covered with gold. Everything's gold. And the 2 poles are permanently there so they can carry the table. And on top of the table go dishes, things to hold liquid, things to hold bread, all made out of gold, solid gold. And then as they get into establishing the cultic practice, the ways that we're going to worship God, there will be bread set before God, and it will go on this gold table on the gold plates, the bread of the presence, and say, here, God, here is bread for you. Here is a liquid offering for you. Verse 31, you shall make a lampstand of pure gold. The base and the shaft of the lampstand shall be made of hammered work. Its cups, its calyxes, and its petals shall be of one piece with it. And shall be 6 branches going out of its side, 3 branches of the lampstand out the one side of it, and 3 branches of the lampstand out the other side of it. 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with calyx and petals on one branch, and 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with calyx and petals on the other branch. So for the 6 branches going out for the lampstand. So let's say that again. So you've got a lampstand, a way to hold a lamp, hold light, and it's got 3 branches on one side, 3 branches on the other, and each branch has 3 cups that look like flowers, like almond blossoms. And it's all made out of gold, and it's all one piece. There shall be a calyx of one piece with it under the first pair of branches, a calyx of one piece with it under the next pair of branches, and a calyx of one piece under the last pair of branches. So for the 6 branches that go out of the lampstand, their calyxes and their branches shall be of one piece with it, and the whole of one hammered piece of pure gold. You shall make the 7 lamps for it. The lamp shall be set up so as to give light on the space in front of it. Its snuffers and trays shall be pure gold. It and all these utensils shall be made from a talent of pure gold. And see that you make them according to the pattern for them, which is being shown you on the mountain. So you're going to create a lampstand with 6 lights made out of pure gold. And we don't know exactly what it looked like, but possibly something like this, where you've got 1 stick going up the middle, and then 3 branches going up on each side and meeting. And where they meet, there's to be leaves. And where they, at the end, where where the lamps are, is to look like flowers on the top of. Let's get that where that goes. So this is basically a menorah. And here is where God first is telling people, create a menorah, a solid gold menorah that is going to be the lampstand with 7 lights to light up this tabernacle. So I think that's enough for today. We're just starting to get this set up. Tomorrow we were going to hear about the actual creation of the tabernacle. Tabernacle is a tent. It's a place where God can dwell and live with the people while they're traveling, because they are going to be traveling for quite a while. So this is not a temple, but it's like a temple that moves. It's a movable temple, so a tabernacle. But before there was a tabernacle, what did they do? They would worship God, and they would have an altar that they would build sometimes. But now God is like, we're going to create a tabernacle where God can live and travel with us as we travel. So, and now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord look at you with favor and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. Have a great day.